Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ronin Wrestling. We got another banger here for you. End of 2024 is coming. We're in December now. I'm in my shed, freezing my tail off to bring you guys the content we all want to see on YouTube. So today we're going to be doing the best matches of 2024 in WWE. I know this is an objective list, so obviously, if you guys disagree, leave a comment. Leave a comment of what you guys think would be on the list. I'm going to do 10. 10. I'm going to do 10 of them, and I'm going to do one honorable mention just because I felt like it was necessary to put it on, even though I didn't think it belonged in the top 10. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So for my honorable mention, I have Ilya Dragunov versus Ricochet. This was just a Raw match, but I was in attendance for it, so it holds a special place in my heart. It was a really, really good match. Very high octane offense from both of these guys. Suicide dives everywhere. Torpedo Moscows everywhere. The counters were crazy. Just the pure athleticism that these two guys possess was just really on display here. And I did start a chant while I was in the arena. So it was "This is awesome" chant. And yeah, so it holds a little place in my heart. I had to put it in the honorable mentions at the very least. All right, kicking off at number 10, we've got Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga at Backlash France. So this match is fun. Don't get me wrong, this is a fun match. But if this had happened in the States, it would not even scratch this list. But the crowd in France was electric. I have never seen a wrestling crowd that passionate throughout the whole entire show. That was the opening match of the show. It was supposed to just be a regular tag, but they changed it into a street brawl. I'm not really sure exactly what they called it. I don't know if they called it like a French street name or I don't know, but it was like a street brawl of some sort, and it was really entertaining. The entrances were great, especially Randy Orton's, because everybody was singing his song, even though they don't know any of the words. Um, it was a special match to watch, especially coming off of Mania. It kind of really set forth that how during WrestleMania they were like, oh, this is the Triple H Paul Levesque era. Yeah, like that. You could see that right off the bat with this match. So if I had to give it a star rating, 4.5, but in my eyes, 5 stars as far as the crowd goes. So it really pushed it into the top 10 here for me. Alrighty, at number 9, we got the Women's Money in the Bank match. Now, I honestly haven't seen a lot of people talk about this one, but this match had spot after spot after spot after spot, which just every time it just leveled up too. And some accidental spots too that I know Zoe Stark took a ladder to the back of the head, even though she didn't mean to, but it's that kind of thing that just adds to a wrestling match. There's going to be another match on this list later on that has a couple accidental things that added to the match as well. But and honestly, so the participants were Tiffany Stratton, who ended up winning, which was the right winner. Chelsea Green, who I was rooting for, kind of. I mean, I knew Tiffany was probably gonna pull it out, but Chelsea Green's freaking awesome to me. So I was also rooting for her. Io Sky's great. She's probably my favorite women's wrestler right now. Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, and Zoe Stark, and these people just put on an absolute clinic, spot after spot, like I said, and the storytelling in the match wasn't anything crazy, and there were some goof ups here and there, but it was very memorable to me. So that's the big reason I put it on this list. All right, at number 8, we got a World Heavyweight Championship match. This one's Gunther versus Randy Orton, and I know they've had two, but I'm talking about the one at Bash in Berlin. So the one that they had at King of the Ring, or Queen and King of the Ring, King and Queen. I don't know how they called it, but you know what I'm talking about. That one was great. It was a great match. They kind of like duffed the finish a little bit, which it doesn't take away from it because like obviously these two guys like are two of the best in the business. But for me, this was the same match, just like without that duff. And it like the way it ended was great. Made Gunther look like an absolute beast. Because Randy Orton doesn't need another champ. Well, he's probably gonna get one, but but he doesn't need another championship. So he's kind of at that stage where he could just put guys over. Um, and Gunther's like the perfect guy to put over because he's like the future of heels in WWE. So yeah, I really enjoyed this match. The in ring storytelling was great. Obviously, like every Gunther match, there's like they'll just pick a body part. Well, he'll pick a body part and just work it and just work it. And yeah, it's like my favorite style of match to watch right now. Obviously, like the high spot matches are fun, and like the bloodline matches with the storytelling are fun. But like a Gunther match is just so special to me. So had to put at least one on here. There's going to be another one. Spoiler alert, but um, yeah, that was a great match. So that came in at number 8. All right, and speaking of Gunther matches, coming in at number 7, we've got Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 40. So this match was really good. It I thought when I was making this list, it was gonna be like 3, 4. But as I was kind of going through the matches, it ended at 7. So I feel like it's a good spot for it. Um, Obviously, the in ring work between these two guys is absolutely phenomenal. Sami Zayn had his Hulk up spot, which was just sick while we were watching. I was watching in my basement here and with a couple of my buddies, and we just popped big for that. So that's very memorable. Obviously, the brain buster onto the turnbuckle into the haluva kick. That might have been the best finishing sequence, I should say, um, to finish a match of 2024. That was really, really cool to watch. And something we haven't seen before in WWE with that brain buster on the top turnbuckle. It was crazy. Like, I thought he was going to break his freaking neck with a broken freaking neck. But yeah, I really enjoyed the match. WrestleMania is the grandest stage of them all, so that kind of puts a little bit more oomph behind it. But yeah, at number 7, great spot for it. All right, I don't know if this is recency bias or what, but I really, really liked the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline at Survivor Series just a couple days ago. It was really good storytelling. The whole Roman Reigns and CM Punk dynamic coming in was great because we just found out like the week before that they were going to be teaming up, and then the dynamic during the match was even better. With you know Roman Reigns puts his arm out when CM Punk's going to go out, and then he sends I believe it's Sami Zayn out, and then um, once they're all in the match, we have you know Roman's picking up his buddies. He's picking up the Usos. He's picking up Sami Zayn, but he doesn't go and pick up CM Punk. Um, we have CM Punk inevitably saving Roman Reigns off the table, and yeah, it was really just cinema, as the children say nowadays. It was really fun to watch, um, and obviously some cool spots with Bronson Reed and Jimmy Uso both jumping off the top of the cage with splashes through the table. One of them missing, one of them not. So it was a really fun match. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's going to set up a big, maybe Mania match or maybe Royal Rumble match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So, and I mean, as a wrestling fan, we got to be excited about that. So, yeah. that's gonna be number 6 for me. The War Games match, number 6. All right, coming in at number 5, we've got the Intercontinental Championship match between Jey Uso and Braun Breaker. And for me, this was like Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania 30 all over again. Jey Uso is like the most over guy I've like since I so little story here. Loved wrestling. I started watching wrestling when I was like 4 or 5, and I watched it pretty much all the way up until like 2018, and then from like 2018 to like 2022, I didn't watch it at all. Like I didn't know what was happening at all. So I came in with like the Bloodline stuff like at its peak. WrestleMania 38, sorry, was the first thing I had seen since falling out of being a wrestling fan, and the Bloodline was the thing that sucked me back in. Between that and like Cody Rhodes returning, and then I don't know, I just like fell in love with the Jey Uso character that they were building up. So to see him finally like achieve that singles glory that he's been searching for, uh, it was a great moment. The crowd popped big for it. The moments in the match were great. There was some false finishes. I gotta say, Braun Breaker is like the best right now with the close finishes. Like he gets that shoulder up at like 2.999 every time. It's it's like even on like this, like a Raw, he just faced Sheamus the other day on Raw, and um he's just like phenomenal at doing that kind of thing. I don't know where he gets. I guess it's genetic, but uh, yeah, I'm rambling right now, but it was a really good match. Um, Obviously, like I said, Jey Uso wins, which is great, and like the commentary for this match was just unbelievable. It just sold the moment for me. I mean, I know I said the crowd was popping big, but the announcers were popping huge. So yeah, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. Mid, I forget the exact date. It was like mid September. Uh, that's going to be number 5 on the list, and probably not on a lot of other lists, but it's on mine. All right, at number 4, we've got Io Sky versus Bailey at WrestleMania 40. This is this is like the women's match of like my return to watching wrestling. I've watched this match like probably 3 or 4 times since WrestleMania, and really for this like one spot at the end, where Bailey's going for the rose plant, and then Io Sky like kip ups out of it, like with her, like I don't know what to call that, like, but she counters it and she just stands up, and the whole crowd just goes, oh, you can like hear, it just like it gives me chills like right now just thinking about it. It is like the coolest counter I've seen to a move because it's like so natural looking. Like you think she's taking the move, but then she counters, she pops up, and she's like, ah. I mean, the match ends like seconds after that, but it was really a special moment, and it's stuck with me, obviously. But coming in, like the match had a pretty good build. It wasn't anything special as far as like these like crazy like swerves. It was a pretty like simple story they told of betrayal. Obviously, Io kicking Bailey to the curb and all that, but yeah, the story played out throughout the match, and now we're here, and they just teamed at War Games, and I thought they were gonna do like they teased it a little bit, how they had some dissension and distrust, but um, yeah, that match back in at WrestleMania 40 in April was just phenomenal. So if you haven't watched that match, definitely go watch it. Like I said, probably the best women's match since like WrestleMania 38. So, in my opinion, other would probably say like Rhea versus Charlotte at 39, but yeah, yeah, that's the top of the list for me. All right, at number 3, we got Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles at Backlash. So they did have 2 matches. It is the Backlash match that I'm talking about. The crowd for this, like I said, with the Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Bloodline match, the crowd was just absolutely phenomenal. Like I I don't I don't think they're ever gonna be able to replicate a crowd like that unless they go back there. They might just be the best wrestling crowd in the entire world. But the match itself is really, really good. We had, I believe this match had a kick out at 1, which was absolutely insane. I could be mixing, yeah, it had to have been this match because the other one was a I Quit match, which was a great moment. Shortly after, like, the whole Sami Zayn Hulk up thing, so, like, we had just seen it, so maybe it wasn't quite as special, but it was a pretty cool moment. We had really cool, like, moves that we haven't seen in years being pulled out. We had like I said, the crowd, especially for AJ Styles, they have, like, this chant in France that talks about phenomenal, something about phenomenal, and they just every 10 seconds they were going off with that chant. They're all bobbing up and down. So fun. The atmosphere was so fun. I highly recommend it. If you're a new wrestling fan and you haven't seen that match, that's like what we watch it for. So I think that's like a 5-star match from top to bottom. Basically like two of the best in-ring workers right now. So they really couldn't miss it. Like the story coming in wasn't that great, but like we all knew the match itself was going to be phenomenal, and it was. So yeah, that's going to be coming in at number 3. All right, at number 2, we got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell match, Bad Blood 2024. So this match was brutal, which is always fun. There's lots and lots of blood, which we don't really see very often, which adds a little extra kick to it. This was the match where there were some spots that definitely went wrong, but added to the match. One of which being Drew McIntyre getting busted open on the top of his head. I think he needed like 15 stitches or something like that in the top of his head because of the toolbox to the top. And then when he goes for the claymore and he lands right on the corner of the steel steps, probably just destroyed his back. I can't imagine taking that. That would be like awful. But those two things just like catapulted this match into a whole nother atmosphere for me. Definitely the best Hell in a Cell match I've seen since WrestleMania 28. I know some people might like the Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins one, but for me, like obviously there was a lot of stuff that happened in that match that probably was tainted because of how injured Cody Rhodes was with his pec and everything, and that's part of it. And that match was brutal too. But for me, this match, storytelling wise, was far and above everything else, especially because this rivalry's been brewing since Survivor Series last year. So, absolute 5 out of 5 star match. These guys like really went to war with each other, which they said they were gonna. That's what Hell in a Cell's for. So I'm glad they did. And yeah, it ended up number 2 on my list. All right, and this is probably no surprise to anybody, but number 1 on my list is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Bloodline rules. I don't know what else I have to say about this match, unless you guys haven't seen it, which I'm sure you have if you're watching this video. You know why this is here. This is like sports entertainment at its absolute peak. Probably the best WrestleMania match / main event in ever? Question mark. I mean, I know it's a bold statement, but like, man, I had so much fun watching this match. So, like, obviously coming in, Cody had lost at WrestleMania 39. He's looking for his redemption at 40. The Rock comes in. He's like, I'm gonna take it. Cody lets him, and then all the people get behind Cody. Great story coming in. A lot of people knew Cody was going to win coming in, but it didn't really change anything. There was still that like sliver of, but what if Roman retains? And honestly, I was in that boat. Like I was pretty convinced for a while Cody was going to win. And then like a week before, I was like, I think Roman's going to retain. So I was equally as shocked as some others out there, which was really fun for me. First half of the match was just a regular like wrestling match. It didn't really have anything too crazy as far as like returns or um, like interferences, or there wasn't much weaponry being used. Like it was just a straight up good match, like great match, really. These two guys have great chemistry. They really like if they have a third part of this, trilogy. Uh, I think it's really gonna blow people out of the water. But anyways, first half of the match, great wrestling. Like I said, second half of the match, that's when all like the interference, like the Solo Sikoas come down, and the Jimmys and Jays and the Cenas and the Rock, and then we get the Undertaker, and it's like, what the heck is going on right now? And it's just like the best way to like equal the playing field, because like once one person came down from one side, the other person came down from the other, and then they just matched each other. Oh man, I should go watch this match again. Yeah, I just watched some of these matches that weren't recent for this video. I did not watch this one because it was pretty like in my head already. I'd seen a lot of stuff about it afterwards, and obviously I had watched it live and I got to experience it, and it really stuck with me. So I didn't feel like I like needed to watch it again. But that might be one I go inside and watch right now. It is great storytelling through and through. Like I said, peak sports entertainment. Highly recommend if you know somebody that's not a big wrestling fan but wants to get into wrestling, this is the match for them, because obviously they know The Rock, they've seen John Cena, like Roman Reigns aura alone will sell them on it. Cody Rhodes' entrance, it's it's phenomenal, and that's why it's on my number one spot on this list. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap on the video. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I loved making this list. Any kind of list, I love making it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I know I rambled on parts, but why don't you guys leave a comment, maybe your top 5, top 10, maybe even just one, your favorite match of the year. I want to hear your guys' opinions. So leave a comment, like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't. I mean, the ball's in your court here. Subscribe if you're liking my vibe here. And yeah, I'm gonna be coming with some more 2024 wrapped kind of videos. One of which being like a award show type of thing. I'm gonna try to rank the pay-per-views. Not rank. Maybe I'll do like a tier list. I don't know. I haven't really fully decided on that one yet. And then maybe like a top 10 superstars of 2024. So some good content coming out for you guys. So stay tuned and have a freaking great day, guys.